You had at some point said that, look, we should do something about denominating our reserves in other currencies. We've got the yuan, I beg your pardon, the renminbi.
You see, this the currency swap, the currency swap. Nobody has, there's no one universal theory as to what you need to do.
But this is a good one, isn't it?
Hold on a minute. There's no universal theory as to what you need to do with your currency to make it strong. And that's what all nations are trying to do. This one, the swap, not bad, but there is a caveat there that we need to look at very well. If I can have a currency swap with America, or with the euro, or with the pound sterling, why do I need a currency swap with China? And if I must have a currency swap with China, should I elevate the conversation around my currency swap with China to the extent that I'm going to irritate my traditional trading partners?
Because it depends on how you internalize it. If you put that message out, people internalize things differently. Meanings are in people, not necessarily in words.
Nah, meanings are in people, you are right. But when you observe the activities of a higher than normal propagandist government, whatever they say and the words that they hamper on will give an impression. Currency swap is not particularly bad to cover for the trade between us and China. But I ask you, is China our biggest trading partner?
As of today?
They say it is.
They say it is.
Oh, yes.
They will need to bring statistics to that.
You don't think it is?
No, I don't think it is.
Who do you think it is?
You see, what does China take from us? And what do we take from China? If China manufactures things in this country and brings to us, that's China's gain. There are people that still buy a substantial quantity of our oil. There are people that buy some of our Greek product. There are locations in this world where we have
other than
China, where they have a large number of Nigerians residing, and they accommodate our people. And therefore, I hope they get the diplomacy right. And I hope they are mindful of the fact that a relationship that has existed for close to 100 years between ourselves and the Anglo-Saxons cannot easily be wished away because of the conveniency of a certain amount of money that by our own size and what if we had managed our economy well ought not to excite us. My issue with this government is that they are easily mesmerized. They are mesmerized because of the way they have their outlook to life. Look, this generation of ours, we see ourselves as equals with anybody. Be it America, be it China, be it India, wherever you're coming from, we believe that there are Nigerians that can meet you toe to toe. And if those who are running our country are still running and living with an archaic, almost near colonial mentality mindset in their foreign policy, we will have to tolerate it for the time being because there is a time frame for the first time that they've gotten. But if we're to look at the indicators within the country and how we are feeling right now, almost a year into their government, I must tell you, they will need to do more than tell us they went to China. They will need to tell us precisely those things that will impact all our lives. Look, if they had gone to China and they were going to talk about agriculture, I would have imagined that they were diversifying the economy. But what are the things they're talking about?
Agriculture. It's also
they didn't see anything meaningful in that direction. They said things like currency swap. What was that? You don't have to be excited because your currency is weak or strong. That's not it. The yen itself is not even so strong relative to the America. It is the way you grow the real sector of your economy. Can't somebody tell these people this? If you want to grow the real sector of the Nigerian economy now, you want to reinflate it, you can look in the mortgage environment. Release mortgages so you can free capital. When you free capital, people can put it into SME. Look, we have had a very unfortunate history here in this country where we are struggling to expect people whose present mindset is no longer in tandem with the tendencies of the 21st century. The world is moving at a faster pace.
A whole lot you have tried to explain, but first,
the local content bill, I think, was strictly for the oil and gas industry.
If you have a local content bill for the oil and gas industry, it's only a matter of time before you cover other areas.
It wasn't. It didn't cover other areas. And you talked about our traditional trading partners. Don't forget that during the last administration, we all saw one of the handicap of that administration, and it has to do with its trading partners ignoring, doing business when it comes to selling arms and other ammunition to help fight the insurgency. So are you still thinking, or we have good relationship with those you have termed our traditional trading partners now that Nigeria is looking towards the Far East?
If you want to buy arms in a war situation, there's something called the mode of engagement. The people that are looking at things, maybe in Amnesty International and a few others, may have a few issues, especially if it is simulated by the people that are in government now when they were in opposition. They may have a few issues that, hey, are you using the best tactics to manage this? And they will have a lack of desire to give you arms that they think or may think you want to use it against civilian population. That's not a reason to think that your relationship is destroyed. In any case, the facilities you need.
It wasn't destroyed. It was a bit frosty at that
right,
time.
Exactly. That's why I say it's not the reason to think it's destroyed. In any case, the facilities you need, if you're looking in terms of military corporations and all that, you're not going to get it from China. You're still going to get it from our traditional allies. And what we're saying is that there is a way you go cautiously, especially when you know the strength of your allies. And the world is not going to overnight become a place where Europe and America and those who are nearer us in terms of geography will become irrelevant. China will be relevant.
But Mr. Shomi, you travel a lot, and you also know that even right there in America, we have so many Chinese products in the United States. Some of the things you even order takes you out of America to China and comes back to America.
Do you know the difference between theirs
to satisfy your order?
Do you know the difference between theirs and ours? I'll tell you. The difference between theirs and ours is that private sector money in their own country will go looking for localization opportunities, cheap labor, to produce technology that they have created and incubated, and go and look for some of those cheapness in China. We're not in that situation. We are just a consumer market. So we have the right to be a little bit self-assured because we're buying the goods. They're not dashing us for free. And we can't even be compounding our issues with debts. If you say you have collected a lot of money from those that stole money, if the Americans are repatriating dollars to you every day, and if you've done a budget of about 6 trillion or 7 trillion, whatever your budget is that you've padded and you've not been able to pass, you can't come to us every time only to show us that you got money. Okay, now I ask you, now that they've done China, they've done London, they've done America, they've done Germany, when are they going to do Australia? Because as it looks, it appears as if they're going to be going from one country to the other, one country to the other, one country.
I'm just wondering though, are you criticizing for the sake of criticizing?
No.
Because I'm wondering, because if you say that they admit that they're continuing some of the policies that your government started, it means that your government also went to China and they were not on a, they're not on a frivolous trip.
Thank you. Do you know the difference?
If they're not on a frivolous trip and they are continuing some of the policies that, why do you seem to have so many issues? I mean, first of all, you say, thank God they commend that. Thank God they say we did something in that particular regard. And in the next minute, you see absolutely nothing good with this particular trip to China.
I've not told you I've not seen anything good in it. I've only told you that they suffer from an excessive desire to exaggerate. They exaggerate the little things they do.
Well, we need to wrap up. Even though we know they did mention agricultural, mining, power, but since they say it's still under negotiation, it's up to the ministers to shed more light on those items. Segun Shomi, former Deputy DG, PDP Campaign Organization, Ogun, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you.
Well, we'll be back in a minute and turn our attention to what is affecting everyone out there on the streets. Don't go away.